everyone, this is Ermias here, coming to you live from Columbus, Ohio. How is everybody doing today? Today, I'm going to be talking about a very important subject here. We're going to talk about progress and how that can affect our happiness. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ermias. I'm an entrepreneur. Hi, Mulgeta, nice to see you here. Hi, Chris, nice to see you here. Thanks for joining me. For those of you who don't know me, again, my name is Ermias. I live in Columbus, Ohio, and I have three passions: entrepreneurship, personal growth, and contribution are my passions. And I'm actually doing a 30-day Facebook Live challenge, which is about to end sometime next week. It's been a great journey. And for those of you who've been following me and supporting me, I really do appreciate you guys. Hi, how's everybody doing? Hi, it's Aga, how are you? Nice to see you here. Hi, Haile. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me, and please let me know where you're joining me from. I know that as I'm talking to some of you, it's all over the world, and I want to know where you're joining me from. Hi Kokab, nice to meet you. Nice to see you here. So today I'm going to talk about a very important subject, which is progress and how that can affect our happiness. As I was doing research, just getting ready for this Facebook Live, I found out a couple of things about career satisfaction and career happiness in America and also throughout the world. Gallup poll, it's a research company, did a research, and in 2017, actually in the US alone, 70% of the people who are working full-time actually hate their job. That was a big number. I was really shocking. And worldwide, it's about 87%, which is actually even worse. So a lot of people are not happy with their career or their jobs. And also of those 70%, actually they did a research on 100 million people, and 51% of the people that were researched actually don't like their job, but not too much where they have to leave. So basically they're not engaged in their career. By not being engaged means that they're really checked out. They're really not passionate about what they're doing. They do the bare minimum, and they're actually not even exerting as much energy as they could in their job. So they're pretty much not really that satisfied. Hi, Ms. Kana, nice to see you here. And then the remaining 15% absolutely hate their job. Okay, they can't stand being at their job. They really don't want to go to work. They drag themselves into it. So it's a big number. More than half of that, more than half of what they researched actually are not really finding fulfillment at their jobs, and that affects their happiness level. I remember when I first got hired, my first job, it was way back then. I remember my supervisor telling me, we were just chatting, and she said, you've got to make your workplace happy because you spend 80% of your time at your workplace. I mean, 40 hours, sometimes 50 hours a week, we spend it in your career. So if you're not happy at your job, it's definitely going to affect your overall happiness, which is really important. So what is the one thing that we can do to change it? I'm the kind of person who really believes that I can only change the things that I can control. A lot of times you can't control the stuff that you're unhappy about, but you can control how you react to it. You can control what you can do about it. And that's really what I really want to talk about today. I don't know if you guys know the motivational speaker, Tony Robbins. He says that the underlying factor for someone to be happy, hi, it's a guy all the way from Norway, nice to see you. The underlying factor for a person to be happy is actually their progress, Now, even Forbes, as I was doing the research again in Forbes, there was 3 common reasons that they said they talked about as to why people are actually unhappy at their careers. And the number 1 reason was little or no opportunity for advancement or for growth, because when people don't see that they can progress or grow, there's no opportunity for them to go to the next step they become very, very unhappy. A second reason was company culture. Company culture where they're actually overworked and underappreciated. That's one of the things that actually makes them creates unhappiness, or they start to hate their job. And the third thing is really being underpaid. So they're not progressing financially, and that's the reason why people are not satisfied at their job. So 51% not liking their job and 15% really hating it. That's a big number. Hi Samson, nice to see you. So if that's what's happening, if you can really, what this shows us is when a person knows that they can progress in something, or they are progressing, or they're being appreciated for their progress, they become happier and they become more fulfilled. Okay, so it's all about progress. So really what I wanted to talk about today is how can you control the one thing that you can control? How can you actually start progressing in whatever you're doing, so that you can be more happy, so that you can be happier, so that you can be more fulfilled in whatever you're doing. So progress, how do you really engage in your own progress? And that's really what I wanted to talk about today. So the first thing that you can do to progress is really the number one thing is really to stop comparing yourself with others. And we do this all the time. When we see someone that's doing better and, producing or succeeding in life better than we do, we start comparing ourselves. Use people that are successful as an inspiration, but never compare yourself to them. The reason it's not, first of all, comparison is a stealer of joy. You're not going to be happy. You're actually going to become more and more miserable if you continue to compare yourself to others. However, instead of comparing yourself to others, be inspired by what they're doing, learn what they're doing, and compare yourself with the person that you're becoming. You have to set a goal or know really who you want to become, and compare yourself to that person, and see your progress in comparison to the person that you're becoming. Because when you're comparing yourself with another person, it's actually really not fair, because you really don't know what advantages they have over you, or what price they paid to get to where they are. You really don't know. So a lot of times you're comparing apples to oranges as opposed to apples or oranges to oranges. So it's not even realistic when you're comparing yourself to others. But we do that a lot, and just habitually we do that. But you want to be very conscious in not really comparing yourself with another person, but comparing yourself with with the person that you're trying to become, and measure your improvements based on that. Hi everyone. Hi Bantu. How are you? Nice to see you guys here. So that's one thing that can help you in terms of your progress, and be happier as you're progressing. And the other thing is, you really want to know what you're worth. You know who you are and what you're worth and what you can provide value. Because a lot of times when you really numb yourself out and you're really not thriving, and you're not producing, you're not contributing, you forget what you're worth. You really start to forget what value you have, what strengths you have, and what potential you have. And it kind of starts to make you feel like you're just, existing. You're just passively existing and not really doing anything major. Hi, Biniam, how are you? So, know what you're worth. And this is very, very important, because you really want to sit down and start to think, what's your strength, really? What's your ability? What skills do you have? And what can you do with those things that you have? And when you understand your value, your true worth and your value, you actually start to do something with it. You start to provide value in the marketplace, whether it's your job, whether it's your business, wherever it is. You start to provide, you start to serve with what you have. You start to give with what you have. And when you do that, if you're faithful with what you have, with the small things, that's definitely going to grow. You're going to be trusted with more, because you're providing value. So, but it all starts with knowing exactly what you have and what your worth is. And a lot of times, if you're not unhappy with what you're doing in your career, most likely you've forgotten what your value is. And a lot of times it could be because it's not even appreciated. No one's really okay, Christine, I think, hi Christian, can I save the live? You can share it if you're finding some value. Please share it, but it will also be on my page for viewing later. Right now it's live video, but I don't think you can save it. So you really want to know what your worth, what your value is, and start providing that value in the marketplace. And that starts to make you feel important. But not only that, because you're already providing value, you're going to start progressing and growing. Whatever you have to plant it. You have to put the seed in, and then that's when it starts to grow and you start to become better and better and better. And so really know what you're worth and provide the value is the second thing. And the third thing is also know what you want. This is very important, because a lot of times when we're choosing our chosen career or profession or anything that we do, a lot of times we make choices based on our limitations as opposed to based on our purpose and passion. Okay, so because we start to think, what can I do? What am I able to do? We base what we want to do based on our current ability or current skills or whatever we know, and we set aside the passion or the purpose that we have. We forget about it and never come back to it. So what that does is, when your passion is really, when you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's very hard to be motivated to progress in that. So, and I've talked about this in other videos before, but really being in touch with your passion and purpose, knowing what it is that you really want, what makes you fulfilled, what makes you satisfied. You're created uniquely. Everybody's created uniquely, and everybody has a purpose in this life. And that passion is placed in you at birth. You're created to become that person. So based on that passion and purpose that you have, really know and be clear with what you want to do. Okay? So instead of acting out of fear or fear of loss or what I can do, what I can't do, limitation and things like that, you really want to start acting based on faith. Faith, okay? I can do this. This is what I want. How is it that I can get there? What do I need to do to get it done? Who's done it before? Who can I follow? Those are the questions you really want to ask. And if you find your passion or purpose and you're working towards it, you're definitely going to be motivated to progress and grow. And that's where you find happiness, true happiness in whatever that you're doing. And the fourth thing is, maybe right now you already have a profession, you're living your life, and sometimes it might be a very routine life, and you're not thriving, but at the same time you're not too dissatisfied. But you probably have that need, that desire. I hope that I'm inspiring that desire to not just to survive and to live, but to thrive in life. Okay, if that's you, that's the other thing that you can do is start learning new skills. Okay, when you start learning new skills, what you're doing is you're adding value. You're increasing your own value. You're increasing your own value, and that value will be appreciated by the marketplace, whatever it is, whether it's a different job, whether it's within your existing company, or if you're in business, if it's in your current market or new market. Learning new skills, extending yourself that way increases your value. Okay, and this is something that I personally really I always knew, but something that I really haven't really done much to. And again, it's because, to be honest, when you are not passionate about what you're doing, and before my current profession, the one that I chose to do right now, just like hi Miki, how are you? Just like most people, I was in a profession that I got into by default. Okay, it was my first job. I just started growing. in that job and maybe change different companies, but the same career for years and years and years. And it wasn't by design. It wasn't that I wanted to do that kind of thing. I was an assistant dean for a community college, but I never dreamt about becoming an assistant dean for a community college. But I got a job at a community college and grew in that. I progressed within that organization, which I wasn't too unhappy, but I wasn't necessarily thriving because it wasn't necessarily anything to do with my passion. And I remember telling myself, this is not my life. This pays the bills. Okay. It was just a job. Luckily, when I got introduced into a business that's something new that I've never done before. And when I really learned what it was, and I could see the connection between my passion and the business opportunity, and I started pursuing it, it just opened a whole new world for me, because my passion and my career merged. They married. And not only that, because of that, I found new motivation to grow. I found I wanted to learn more. I wanted to grow more. I wanted to be really good at it. All of that desire to progress started to show up because now I was doing what I was passionate about. Okay, so that's one thing that you really want to do. Start learning new skills, because you don't know that skill, the new skill that you're learning, it can ignite passion in you. And of course, if you're learning new skills, you're probably going to learn something that you're passionate about, and you want to do that. And as you're increasing your value, then you have more options. You have more options. So if you're not happy with your current situation or your current career or things that you're doing, you have more options to really do what you really like to do. But you really want to increase your skill set and really learn new skills. So I have like a couple of skills that I think can really, really serve you no matter what kind of profession that you're doing. There are a few skills that really, really can serve you, that you really want to start learning. And I wish I did this a long time ago, but I'm still, happy that I got to do it now. But I wish somebody had told me when I was right out of college or when I was a teenager and I knew this and I developed it. So I really wanted to share with you a few skills that you can learn that's really going to help you and serve you whatever it is that you're doing. Okay. So number one, you want to learn networking skills. I don't know if you guys have heard this saying, but your network is your net worth. The people that you have contact with are really your resources for many, many, many reasons. So networking is a learned skill. It used to, for me, it used to scare me, the word networking, and I've heard this a long time ago, how networking is really important, right? But it used to make me feel very uncomfortable for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm an introvert, naturally. I'm not the kind of person who would go out there and greet strangers and, start a conversation and connect with them. That's really not me. It wasn't me. It's a learned and developed skill now, but it wasn't me initially. And the second thing, hi, how are you, Solomon? Nice to see you. So, and the second reason was, I grew up outside of the United States and I came here for school. So being in a new country, new culture, not knowing a lot of people to start with, you get into a place where you were more reserved, and that was me. I was more reserved and wasn't really going out there to expose myself and to network. And your world shrinks when you're not networking. Your world starts to become smaller and smaller. So which means that your resources also become smaller and smaller. So networking is a very important skill. And it's something that you really want to start doing. And I want to give you a couple of tips that help you. If you're someone like me who didn't like to start conversation and talk to people, one of the things that helped me, that I learned from one of my mentors, is start asking questions. Ask people questions. Be interested in who they are. Start asking questions. Engage in a conversation that way, and it makes it easier, and you're not nervous about what you have to say to these people, because let them talk. Let them talk. And when you start asking questions, people actually start pouring information, and then you find common things where you can engage in the conversation too. So that's one thing that I can give you that can help you start developing your networking skills. And another important skill to really develop is marketing or promoting skills. Hi Riz, nice to see you here. Marketing skills also very important. And again, I had a mental block about marketing. I didn't like the word marketing. Number one, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't think that I knew how to do it. Number two, for some reason I thought marketing was manipulating other people, you know, because I thought marketing was, you know, making people buy something that you want them to buy. So it's really manipulation, right? But it's really not. It's not. Marketing, now that I know what it really is, marketing is actually an art of communication. It's really an art of communication, because someone out there has a need, and a marketer's job is really to find out what that need is, and also find out how they can fulfill that need. So it's really the communication between a buyer and someone that's selling something. It's a communication that, you know, not everybody's going to buy your whatever you have, your services or your product, but who are the people who are looking for what you have? What value are you going to provide to the market? So marketing is really the communication by which you actually provide value in the marketplace. And as I'm talking to people, I hear over and over again, I don't like marketing. I'm not that kind of person. Well, it's only because, number one, they don't understand what marketing is, so they may not have a positive understanding or positive view of marketing. And number two is they haven't learned the skills of professional marketing that actually is more geared into serving others as opposed to manipulating others for your own advantage. So marketing is another good skill to learn that can serve you in any area of your life and help you progress. And the third thing is communication skill. And a lot of times when we hear communication skill, it's the first thing that comes to mind could be how we talk and how we articulate and how we put things together that way people understand it, right? How you get your message across properly. The one thing that we always forget though, communication is also being able to listen. Listening skill is the biggest and best communication skill anybody can have, right? A lot of times everybody's trying to, you know, send out messages, and nobody's really listening to what the other person needs or wants or where they are. So listening skill is also very, very important, and that's part of communication skill. And it's really a trained skill, listening skill, because sometimes, you know, people don't have patience to listen to everything the person is saying and to understand where they're coming from and what they're empathic listening. They don't have patience, but highly effective people actually have really great listening skills. So listening skills is communication skills. So that's one skill that would be good to develop, that can serve you in many areas of life and will help you progress as well. And the fourth thing is leadership skill. Okay, leadership skill is also another important skill to develop. I actually had a video a couple of days ago about leadership skill, and leadership skill also will help you develop progress in life. And leadership is really influence. You lead people by how much you influence them. Like, you're influential and they follow you. You can't lead people by just having title or, you know, telling them what to do or managing them. All of that is really not leadership. Leadership is influence and learning to lead, learning to become influential for a positive thing, okay? Positively to lead. Those are also skills that you can develop. So those are four skills that would be good for anybody to start growing into, but adding more skills, learning new skills and progressing in that is one way to actually ensure that you're progressing in life. And also skills, you learn about them, it's like knowing the knowledge is one part, but it's really practicing it is the other part. In order for you to really know, or for you to actually really develop that skill, you have to have a place where you actually practice it. Okay, and then when you repeat it, when you repeat practicing those skills, you actually start to become better and better at it. And one tip that I want to give you guys, and this is something that I have to tell myself all the time as well, is really being okay to make a mistake. Being okay to fail is one skill that will ensure your progress and your success in life. You have to be okay with making a mistake, because if you're not okay with making a mistake, what happens is when you make a mistake, you don't want to try that specific thing again. Fear creeps in. But then if you don't repeat it over and over again, you actually don't develop this skill. So it's really self-defeating when you are afraid of making a mistake. So making a mistake is part of progress. You have to make a mistake in order for you to be progress. In order for you to progress, when we're dealing with children, we're very compassionate, and we are very, how do I say this? We're okay with them making a mistake. We want them to make a mistake. Hopefully, we might want them to make a mistake, and we say, "Oh, it's okay. That's how you learn, right?" But when it comes to ourselves as adults, we're very harsh on ourselves. When we make a mistake, we don't want to try it again. That's one thing that we really don't want to do, and that will block our progress. To progress, you got to go out there, make a mistake, fail. It's okay if other people laugh at you. It's because people are not going to remember your mistakes anyways as you improve. The most important thing is you just have to continuously improve and become better at what you do. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have for today, and I just want to share this with you guys. If you're watching this video and you really find value in it, please go ahead and share it. And what I do in my current career is something that really allows people to learn new skills. At the same time, it's an environment where they are validated and encouraged to succeed. And at the same time, everybody's really cheering for people's success. And it's also a playing field where you actually can personally grow. And that's one of the things that I really love about it, because it stretches you to grow personally, pushes you. It's like a personal development vehicle for anybody. So if whoever is listening to this information today, and if you guys have a need to personally grow, or to add new skills, or to exercise your skills and make money while you're doing that, or reduce some of your expenses, then that's the kind of program that I am engaged in. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Please go ahead and type in 1. That way I know you're interested, and I'll be happy to talk to you. And not everybody is qualified to be in the program, but once we have, when we start conversation, we'll find out if you're qualified. And if you're not, I'll be happy to refer you to other programs that you might be qualified as well. So please go ahead and share this information if you find it valuable. And again, I really appreciate you guys for joining me today on this Facebook Live. And make sure you make it a great day, and God bless you until I see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.